Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we decide the final four for all three series here at ISM Raceway. Myself and Kevin Harvick are both locked into the final four in the Cup Series, and now two spots are up for grabs in points as we head towards ISM Raceway. And for the Truck Series, we had Tyler Wenham in the truck. We failed inspection in qualifying, or before qualifying, whatever, so we couldn't qualify, so we had to start in the back of the field, unfortunately, but he would be able to move himself throughout the field forwards as he came towards the final lap. He had actually moved up into P14 as he went down through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here at ISM Raceway. So Tyler Wenham would come out of the corner to finish in P13 here at ISM, and now we would come through to the Xfinity Series where we had Noah Gragson back in the car, obviously, as our playoff driver, starting P2 in pretty much what would be a must-win situation if Gragson wanted to make it into the final four, and unfortunately he just didn't quite have race winning speed in this car, as he would be P3 for the majority of this race as he came to the final lap, making a big move into turn 3, doing whatever he could, getting sideways there with contact from Allgaier. Unfortunately, this would be the end of the road for our playoffs in Xfinity as Gragson would come through to finish in P3. So unfortunate, but there you see he missed it by 12 points, which certainly would have been awesome if he made it to the final four for our last season. But we come through into qualifying for the Cup Series now through turns 3 and turns 4. It was a pretty strong lap now as we exit the corner heading down the front straightaway. Coming through, we would go P2 with a 26.860 as we get ready to decide the final four drivers who will fight it out in Miami.
Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to ISM Raceway today for the Can-Am 500. We've reached the penultimate event of this thrilling season, and there's no better place than ISM Raceway to take in all the exciting action. ISM's multi-million-dollar renovation is complete, and the upgrades are simply amazing. Fans are raving about the new amenities and fan zone experience. There's lots of excitement around the race as well, because after today, the Championship 4 will be set. Who will be headed to Homestead with a shot at the championship? Well, it's time to find out. NASCAR racing is next.
Alright, we're ready to go green here for the Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway. Parker Kligerman failed the optical scanning station multiple times, so he is starting at the back, and that is your only note coming into this race now as we get ready to go green here on the outside of our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Chase Elliott, who needs to win his way in to the final four now as the green flag is out, and we are underway. We are ready to decide the four drivers that will be fighting it out for a championship here for the final time in our NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode as we go down towards turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott already clear for the lead, but we fight back through turns 1 and 2 to get to the outside of him, but just can't quite carry the momentum. So Elliott gets clear as we go down the back straightaway. Kyle Busch now fights through on my inside as we go down into turns 3, trying to look back up the outside there of the 9 of Chase Elliott, but unfortunately when you come out of turn 4, we just lack so much speed compared to the AI that Kyle Busch gets ahead, and so does Joey Logano. So we drop to P4 on this opening lap here at ISM Raceway as we go down into turns 1, trying to send it back up the outside, but just couldn't quite do so now as we do fight back though on the exit of the corner here of Joey Logano, as Logano looking still for win number 1 on the season. Like I mentioned before, he hasn't gotten a win in our career mode since we were in the 20 car, and that was obviously a couple seasons back, so it's been a long road for Joey Logano. But we come through now on lap 6. You notice here Chase Elliott has lost the lead, drifting back to P3, and now we pass him to take over third, so he drops back to 4th as Kyle Busch. He would also lose the lead to Joey Logano, who had fought his way through to take over the front position as we went down the back straightaway here on lap 11 of 18 in this first opening stage here at ISM Raceway. Elliott obviously in a must-win situation, and so is Martin Truex Jr. So they have only one objective. They got to win, and obviously both Truex and Elliott were behind me at this point as we hit 7 laps to go in this first opening stage. And as we came through, now a few laps later, Truex had gotten past Chase Elliott and had gotten up to my bumper now, so I go into turns 3, and I said, you can just go right on ahead. You can pass me because I don't want any trouble. We're just trying to manage our own race, and as we came through, Chase Elliott had a lot of speed, so I decided we're going to let him go past as well. Obviously, him being in a must-win situation, he would go through, and we would drop down to P5, and as we came through to the final lap here in the stage, we had actually lost some more ground as I had been dealing with the car getting pretty loose as we start this final lap here in stage 1, going down into turns 1 and turns 2 for the final time in this first stage. Joey Logano continues to lead the way, Kyle Busch in second, Truex third, and behind us we got the 42 of Kyle Larson, who 2 comes into this race as well with a chance to get into the Final Four. So Larson, he was in the Final Four, I believe, 2 seasons ago, and we beat him for the championship as we would exit turn 4, coming through to get P5 in this first and opening stage here at ISM Raceway. Joey Logano wins stage 1. He's no longer in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter for him, as Chris Buescher actually sneaks into the top 10 there. As you see some skid marks there on the inside, someone spun out, couldn't figure out who it was, but obviously someone crashed without a caution. But we would not pit, so we would get ready to restart P5 here for the start of the second stage. It's Logano and Busch on that front row right now as we get ready to go green and start stage 2 behind our arrival of Martin Truex Jr. as the green flag is out, and stage 2 is underway here at ISM Raceway. 15 laps in this second stage as we look to the inside of our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Chase Elliott as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. There's only 2 drivers that come into this race safe, and that's myself and Kevin Harvick. Harvick nowhere to be seen right now. Obviously, it doesn't matter for him because he won last episode in Texas. Obviously, a pretty rough race for us in Texas, which is unfortunate now as we go down into turns 3 and turns 4. And as we exit turn 4, Kyle Busch stays ahead as we sit in that 4th position as we come through to complete the first lap here of this second stage. Joey Logano continues to lead over Martin Truex Jr. Like I said, Truex has to win this race, and he is putting the pressure on Joey Logano as we look up the inside there of Kyle Busch, running him just a little bit up the track now. As we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, Busch stays clear of me as we go down towards turns 3. Stage 2 and the later half of the final stage are always the roughest parts of ISM Raceway for myself there, as we're dealing with some oversteer on the exit of the corner. That allows Ryan Blaney to get to my inside, but obviously the tires continue to wear, and that's why the second stage is so rough on me. As we came through now on lap 7, though, we had actually sent it back up the inside of Blaney, as myself and him had kind of run away from the cars behind like Eric Almirola, so it was just myself and Blaney battling it out at this point side by side down the back straightaway into turns 3, and sure enough, at this point we would take 4th back away from Ryan Blaney as Martin Truex Jr. had actually worked his way up through to take the lead. But now as we come through now on lap 11, just 5 to go on the second stage, we got Blaney bringing some other drivers with him as my tires were wearing very quick, so I knew we were in a bit of trouble here, and it was just, can we hold on to a top 10 in this second stage to set us up half decently for this third and final stage. And sure enough, as we come through approaching 2 to go on the stage, we go way wide on the exit of turn 4. Larson and Harvick now look to my inside as we go 3 wide through the tri-oval, through the dogleg. Chase Elliott up in the mix as well as Larson backed out, so now as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, just losing some speed with these worn tires. Harvick gets clear, and now Chase Elliott is clear. We drop down to P6 with a lap and a half to go here in this second stage at ISM Raceway. Elliott 5th is not going to get him into that final 4. Now Kyle Larson battles with Ryan Blaney side by side behind us as we start this final lap in the second stage as we go down towards turns 1 and turns 2 for the final time. Martin Truex Jr. leading the way here in stage 2, doing everything he needs to do to make it into the final 4 now as we come through on the exit of turn 2, getting a lot of oversteer and very tight at the same time. And there goes Blaney now to the inside as we go down into turns 3 and turn 4. Kyle Larson right there on our bumper just about now as he's side by side with Brad Keselowski. We will exit turn 4 though, trying to hang on over Larson, but he edges us out at the line, and we get P8 here in stage 2. And that 1 extra point for Kyle Larson could be very big here in determining if he makes it to the final 4 or not for a chance to win at Miami. But Kyle Busch would be able to edge out Martin Truex Jr. for the stage victory, and now we would pit for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires and come out in P8 here as we get ready to start this third and final stage here in ISM Raceway as the green flag is back out and the third stage is underway. Kurt Busch, a driver that's trying to make the final 4, hasn't really been up inside the top 10 all day long, so he's been having a rough one. There you see him quite a few rows behind us, so Kurt Busch in quite a bit of trouble. He's definitely going to be on the outside looking in at this point. Kyle Busch and maybe Kyle Larson are kind of the 2 that are probably in the best position to get in on points now as we go down into turn 3. He's settling in behind Keselowski now as we would actually look to the inside of him through turn 3, but couldn't quite make the pass on him as he battles side by side with his teammate of Ryan Blaney. 38 laps to go here at ISM Raceway. No green flag pit stop necessary now as we go into the Heat 4 career mode. We're probably going to turn up the tire wear and feel just so we can get more green flag pit stops in our career mode as we head down the back straightaway side by side with the 12 car of Ryan Blaney as we try to take over the 8th position. Kyle Busch continues to lead over second place of Joey Logano, who's been running up front all race, still looking for win number 1 on the season now as we come through to cross the line, hitting 37 laps to go. Denny Hamlin trying to pass Ryan Blaney behind us now as we came through on lap 42 and making a move to the inside of our teammate of Chase Elliott as we exit turn 4, getting a little bit sideways, but we hang on to it and cut the dog leg just a little little bit now, as Elliott and Truex both find themselves 6th and 7th. Those are the only two that need to win to get in, and obviously none of them are even in the top 5, as there's a little bit of contact made there for a moment with Truex, so we would fade in behind him. We would pull away from our teammate of Chase Elliott and other drivers, so we were in P7 just behind Martin Truex Jr. at this point as we exit turn 2, and we would continue to just kind of ride behind him as I didn't quite have the speed to be able to pass him as we try to look up the inside, but the caution would come out here with 28 laps to go. William Byron brought out the caution, so no one would pit. We would get ready to restart from P7 as the green flag would be back out. And once again, we are underway here with 24 to go, and we get very aggressive on this restart, trying to make it 3 wide there with Keselowski and Truex included as we go down towards turns 1, braking a little bit cautiously, a little bit early now, but we fight back through the center of the corner. Larson gets hung out now as we exit turn 2 side by side with the 2 car of Brad Keselowski now as we go down towards turns 3 side by side, trying to take over that 4th position, and sure enough, we get clear of the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Kevin Harvick leads away. He's already locked into the next round, so he's doing exactly what he needs to be doing right now as we hit 23 laps to go in this race here in ISM Raceway. Running out of time very quick. Kyle Busch has had a great race. He is definitely going to be in the Final 4 if he does not have some issue and crashes out now as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway side by side with Kyle Busch for a moment. He won the championship last season and obviously wants to do so again in our final Heat 3 season as we clear Kyle Busch though through turns 3 and turns 4 and take over 3rd place as we came through now on lap 58, though getting very sideways right behind Logano and Harvick as Logano takes the lead from Harvick, but now we drift down some positions as Kyle Busch, Keselowski, and Blaney all come through to make the pass on us as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, so unfortunate that that happened, but as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, we battle back at least to the inside of Ryan Blaney in the number 12 car as we head out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. A little bit of contact made right there with Blaney, but as we go down into turn 3, we're going to send it in pretty deep. Again, we've made this move a few times and it works just like that again as we clear Blaney, and now as it came through to 16 laps to go, continuing to run in P5 behind Brad Keselowski. Joey Logano still leads away over Kevin Harvick, dealing with a lot of oversteer in the car at this point, but we were at least hanging on, but the tires were starting to wear and we were starting to fall off as we came to 10 go. Myself and Keselowski had stuck together. We had both fallen off from those front drivers quite a bit as we go down into turns 1 now, looking up the inside of Keselowski as we're going to push him a little bit wide, and we make the move work as we exit turn 2. But now you see this whole group of cars behind us. Elliott, Larson, and Truex all lurking behind us as we go down into turn 3. They are all faster than us, so we know exactly how this is going to go as we go a little bit wide on the exit of turn 4. Here comes Chase Elliott. I know his situation. He has to win, so I just let him drive right on by now. And Kyle Larson, he's coming through to my inside. I know he's faster. Even Keselowski was faster, even though we completed the pass, so I decided, okay, Keselowski can even go through as well, as I was just holding them up now as our rival Truex gets to our back bumper now as we head down this back straightaway, and sure enough, he's going to give us a bumper as we go down into turn 3 sideways just about now as we're going to go up into the wall there as Truex tries to give us a little bit of a finishing hit there as we unfortunately continued to lose time in these final laps now as Ryan Blaney would come through with 4 to go to make a pass on me, and now as we came through with just a lap and a half to go, approaching the final lap here now as we got Chris Buescher looking to my inside as we continued, like I said, to just lose some pace as the tires were just falling off so quickly as we went down into turns 3 and turns 4 behind Buescher. He takes over P9, and now we are in that final spot in the top 10 as we come through to start this final lap here at ISM Raceway. We are about to see the other 2 drivers that will make the final 4. I was thinking it was at least Kyle Busch was going to be one of them, and then the last spot is yet to be determined as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway for the final time. Denny Hamlin closing in quickly, but he doesn't have quite enough time as we go down into turns 3 and turns 4. Tire wear certainly costed us a good finish today as we still come through though to get a solid result with a 10th place finish here at ISM Raceway. And this leaves only one race left in our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode as Kyle Busch did pick up the victory. So that is on automatic lock, obviously, into the Final 4. So only one driver gets in on points here going into Miami. And it looks like it could be Kyle Larson because he had a very good finish. And sure enough, it is going to be Kyle Larson joining us 3 of Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, in this Final 4. And really, the 4 drivers that you see in would have gotten in on points anyway, so it's not like anyone got lucky with a win to get into the Final 4. It would have been still the same 4 drivers. So it was a great result for us here at ISM Raceway, and we've had a great playoff so far. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. Thank you all for the continued support. We have just one episode left in our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode, and that is at Homestead, Miami, where we have a chance to get our second Cup Series championship. We have 6 wins on the season, the most we've ever had in a season. Some of them have been kind of luck, but we've managed to have a brilliant playoffs, and we have a chance to win a championship in our final season for our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode. So hopefully I can bring you guys a championship at Miami. So I'd like to thank you all once again for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and many other videos. So thank you all and have yourselves a great day.